The first time my peace lily drooped dramatically, I panicked and gave it a full liter of water. It drooped harder, so I gave it more water, and it basically collapsed. By day 3, I was genuinely considering a small funeral, and then a coworker looked at the photo I'd shown her and said, very calmly, "That plant is drowning." I had been trying to save it from thirst by actively drowning it for 3 days in my kitchen while it tried to tell me to stop. That was 4 years ago. Now I can read a peace lily the way some people read a room, not perfectly, but well enough to avoid the disasters. And what I've come to understand is that peace lilies are actually extraordinarily communicative plants. They're not subtle. They just speak a language most people haven't learned yet. Here are 5 things your peace lily is saying right now, if you know where to look. But first, a quick note. Peace lilies contain calcium oxalate crystals, so keep them away from curious pets and children who might take a bite. The first one is the dramatic droop. Your peace lily has gone limp. Leaves hanging down like it's auditioning for a stage death. And every new plant owner's first instinct is to water it, which is right about half the time. Here's the thing about a drooping peace lily. Both overwatering and underwatering produce the exact same visual result, which is deeply unkind of the plant. The difference is in the soil. If the top inch feels dry and the pot feels light, your plant is thirsty. Water it thoroughly, let it drain completely, and within a few hours it'll perk back up like nothing happened. Spathiphyllum are actually famous for this recovery. They can go from fully collapsed to fully upright in under 2 hours after a good drink. But if the soil is damp, or worse, soggy, and the pot feels heavy, the problem is the opposite. The roots are suffocating. Overwatered peace lily roots can't absorb water or nutrients, which means the leaves droop even though the soil is wet. And if you keep adding water to solve it, you'll kill the plant slowly over the course of weeks while it tries gently and repeatedly to tell you to stop. Check the soil first, always. Takes 4 seconds. The second secret is brown tips with green leaves. Brown tips on an otherwise healthy green peace lily are almost never a watering problem. This is the one people miss. The plant looks fine except for those crispy edges, and the internet tells them to water more or water less, and nothing changes. Brown tips on peace lilies are almost always a water chemistry issue. Peace lilies are one of the most fluoride-sensitive houseplants in existence. Tap water in most cities contains between 0.7 and 1 milligram per liter of fluoride. That's 0.7 to 1.0 parts per million, which is enough to cause tip burn in Spathiphyllum wallisii within a few months of regular watering. Researchers at the University of Florida's Institute of Food and Agricultural Sciences documented this sensitivity as far back as 1990, and it remains one of the most misdiagnosed problems in indoor plant care. The fix is simple. Switch to distilled water, filtered water, or rainwater. Or fill your watering can the night before and let it sit on the counter for 24 hours, which allows chlorine to off-gas, though it won't remove fluoride entirely. If your brown tips have been hanging around for months despite perfect watering technique, the water is almost certainly the culprit. The brown tips that already exist won't reverse, but new growth will come in clean. The third secret is yellow leaves, and this is where most guides get lazy. Yellowing means something different depending on where it appears on the plant. If it's happening on the oldest, lowest leaves closest to the base, that's almost certainly normal aging. Peace lilies shed old leaves as they grow, and 1 or 2 yellowing leaves at the base every few months is the plant doing maintenance on itself. Not a crisis. If the yellowing is spreading across the middle of the plant, newer leaves included, that's a different story. This pattern usually points to overwatering combined with poor drainage, which creates root rot. The roots can't function, the plant can't pull nutrients, and the leaves yellow from the inside out. If you press a finger into the soil and it comes out visibly wet more than a week after the last watering, your drainage isn't working. Low humidity can also contribute to yellowing. Peace lilies prefer humidity levels above 50%, which most homes don't naturally provide. And if the yellowing comes with very pale, almost bleached-looking new leaves, the plant is getting too much light. Peace lilies come from the forest floor in Central and South America, where they evolved under a canopy that filtered out most direct sun. A spot near a bright window with direct afternoon sun is actually stressful for them. Now here's the one that stops people. Put your hand on the leaves of your peace lily, not the drooping ones, not the yellowing ones, just the ones that look normal. Are they dusty? Dust on peace lily leaves is not a cosmetic issue. A fine layer of dust can reduce a plant's ability to photosynthesize by up to 15%, according to research published in the journal Hort Science. Peace lilies have broad, glossy leaves that collect dust efficiently, and in a city apartment near an air vent, a plant can accumulate a meaningful layer of particulate in under 3 weeks. The plant isn't drooping, it isn't yellowing, it isn't browning, it's just quieter than it should be. Growth has slowed slightly. You can't quite put your finger on it. Wipe the leaves with a damp cloth, both sides, once a month. That's it. And while you're cleaning those leaves, remember that the NASA Clean Air Study actually identified peace lilies as one of the top air purifying houseplants. Those clean leaves are working harder than you might think to filter your indoor air. I do mine on the first Sunday of every month, which is either a healthy habit or evidence that I have too much of a relationship with my houseplants. Honestly, probably both. The 5th secret is no flowers, and this one surprises people every time. A peace lily that refuses to bloom isn't broken, it's bored. Peace lilies flower in response to stress, specifically a slight dip in temperature or a brief period of reduced watering. In their native habitat, they bloom after the dry season, when conditions shift. In the average centrally heated apartment, where temperature never fluctuates and watering is consistent, they have no reason to think anything has changed. If your peace lily hasn't bloomed in over a year, try moving it to a slightly cooler room for 4 to 6 weeks, somewhere that drops to around 15 or 16 degrees Celsius at night. Reduce watering slightly during that period, then return it to its usual spot and resume normal care. Many growers report blooms appearing within 8 to 12 weeks of this treatment. And if you bought yours already in full flower and it hasn't bloomed since, it may have been treated with gibberellic acid, a naturally occurring plant hormone that nurseries use to force blooms before sale. It's now just returning to its real flowering cycle, which is less predictable but entirely genuine. The peace lily I almost drowned in year 1 is still alive. She's on the bathroom windowsill now, getting indirect light through frosted glass, and I water her with filtered water and I wipe her leaves on the first Sunday of every month. She bloomed twice last spring, completely unprompted. I don't think she's forgiven me for the 3 days of aggressive overwatering, but she stayed, and I think that counts for something. By the way, If you ever wondered why your aloe vera blooms, click on the video on the screen to find out. See you there!